Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's media availability with Jahan Dotson. If you guys have any questions for Jahan, use the raise hand feature and I will call on you as we sort through. We can start with Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Jahan, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to ask you what it was like seeing mom and dad after the game Saturday. You mentioned that support system. What was it like finally being able to hang out with them for a little bit?
Yeah, it's always good seeing my parents, especially after games when I don't really get to see them a lot. Kind of Saturdays, kind of when we all come together, see the whole family. But it was really nice. I had a lot of family there. Like I said, literally about 20 people, just traveling in from different places. So it was a really exciting moment, just to be able to get to hug my dad, my mom, all my family members.
Rich Scarcella, Donnie Collins, you're next.
Good morning, Jahan. Appreciate
Morning.
the time. How is your mom doing these days, and how difficult is it for you to focus on what you're doing at Penn State with her ongoing battle?
Yeah, my mom's doing very well. And my parents, they make it easy on me, just because they're always in my ear, tell me just not to worry, focus on what I got to do. But yeah, it's tough knowing that my mom's going through something. It's very tough on people, very tough on our family. But all we can do is just have her back through all of this. Just support her as much as possible. As much as they support me, I support my mom just as much. So just having her back, whatever she's going through, and just being there for her.
Donnie Collins, Tyler Donahue, you're next.
Hi, Jahan. How confident are you right now on the field? Is this an all-time high confidence level for you as you build through the season, or you've always been kind of this way, throughout your career?
Yeah, I feel like ever since I've been playing football, I've been pretty confident in myself. Always trusted in myself, always believed in myself, knowing that I can get the job done, no matter what. But yeah, this season hasn't been any different in regards to confidence. I've got more familiar with the game plan, stuff like that, with the game speed. But I feel like I've always been confident in myself, always believed in myself, and it's got me to a great place.
Tyler Donahue, Joe Smeltzer, you're on deck.
Good morning, Jahan. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing great. Yesterday, Sunday, getting a chance to watch film from the Maryland matchup. How would you describe what you saw number 5 on offense doing?
Exciting football. Had a lot of exciting plays, a lot of big plays, but just mostly just contributing to a great team win. That was the biggest thing I saw. Coming in on Sunday, getting the corrections done. Still got things to learn from. I'm so hard on myself. I say every week that I could have had 50 more yards, 100 more yards. So just being my biggest critic, just learning. That's the biggest thing. But it's always easier learning after a W than after an L. So it was fun watching the film and just learning with the guys and making sure that we get on the practice field and correct those things today.
Joe Smeltzer, Craig Meyer, you're next.
Jahan, in this past decade alone, Penn State has had Chris Godwin, your teammate KJ Hamler, and Allen Robinson as well. What does it mean for you to be able to be following in that lineage of Penn State receivers right now in your senior season and your whole career at Penn State as well?
Yeah, it's pretty cool knowing the great things those guys did at the college level and seeing what they're doing right now in the NFL, excelling at the highest level. It's definitely pretty cool to be mentioned with those guys. I kind of came in as a freshman looking up to those guys and seeing the things that Deshaun Hamilton did, the records he was breaking, watching KJ Hamler every day at practice. So it's definitely pretty cool to be mentioned with those guys. And I'm just grateful for the opportunities that I've been given and I'm just trying to take full advantage of them.
Craig Meyer.
Hey there, Jahan. Thanks for taking the time out here, man. how much you had opted to come back for the season, put off what I imagine is a dream and going to the NFL. How much do moments and performances like Saturday kind of make it worth it and make this, I guess, a much more enjoyable experience for you?
I wouldn't say any more than just my overall decision of coming back. When I decided to come back, it was to have a great season individually, break records of different sorts. But the main thing was just coming back and basically having fun with the guys that I love the most. That was the main reason I came back here. It was a pretty easy decision knowing the guys that we have in this locker room. So that was big for me. I wasn't really thinking too much about myself when I made the decision to come back. It was more of a collective thing, knowing the special thing that we had building in this locker room. I knew I had to come back for another year and just be with these guys.
Luciano Chatelain, Andrew Destin, you're next.
Hey, Jahan, I hope you're doing well, and thanks for your time this morning. We had a lot of Big Ten receivers go over 200 yards and have some impressive performances this weekend. Is that surprising to you, and what can you tell us about the talent level in the Big Ten at the position?
That's not really surprising to me. David Bell from Purdue is going over 200 yards almost every game. It seems regular to him now. The wide receiver from Ohio State, he went over 200 yards. I know there's a lot of talent at my position in my conference, let alone in the country. So I know that every week, got to bring my A game. It's fun going up against those guys, like meeting those guys off the field. It's always cool. But yeah, I noticed some of the numbers that those guys put up this weekend, and it's really fun to just see your name mentioned with those guys.
Andrew Destin, Audrey Snyder, you're up next.
Jahan, kind of on a similar point to Craig's question, what level of confidence did you have in your abilities when you took, what was a gamble on yourself to stay at Penn State for another year?
An extreme amount of confidence. Like I said, I'm always confident in myself. I always believe in myself. So the confidence thing is just never something that like I'm really thinking about too much. Just because at the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself. If no one believes in you, you got to believe in yourself. So that's kind of the motto that I've always had. Always kind of been an underdog. So confidence and belief in myself was always huge for me throughout my life. So coming back this year, I had the utmost confidence in myself, in this football team, and the things that we can do.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Jahan, have you heard from Deon Butler at all, who you've surpassed? And also, have you ever had conversations with guys like Allen Robinson, Godwin? Have any of those guys reached out to you?
Yeah, I've talked to most of those guys. Deon Butler actually sent me a text message after the game this weekend, just congratulating me on the record and breaking his record. I talked to Allen Robinson throughout the offseason. I was training with Chris Godwin down in Texas this past offseason. I'm literally always talking to KJ. So it's definitely cool to see those guys reaching back out. And I feel like that's kind of like, that's just the bond we have here at Penn State. That's like the brotherhood we have. Like the guys that were before you, they love to see the guys after them excel. And they're always reaching out, showing love. So that's just kind of testament to what we have here at Penn State, just the brotherhood that we have.
Chris Garcella, Donnie Collins, you're next.
Jahan, you mentioned people pushing you, whether at Penn State or other places, and actually at home. What was or how would you describe the impact that your dad had on your football career, and was he one of your coaches when you were younger?
My dad has had a tremendous amount of, I don't even know, like he's literally been pushing me ever since I touched the ball. Not only in football, but in basketball, in any sport I played, in life in general. He's been basically like my rock, my biggest motivator, my biggest critic, literally the best dad you could ask for, literally. Ever since I was a young kid, he's always believed in me more than I believed in myself. He's always told me the things that I could do someday, and just believing in myself, believing those things that he said, has got me a long way. I could never forget Sunday mornings, literally 7:30 in the morning. He would wake me up when I was like 10 years old to go basketball training. My dad never let me quit a sport. I remember one year I just wasn't feeling a sport, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. My dad, he shut that down quick. Told me you always got to finish what you start, no matter what. And it's just little things like that has been pushing me and molding me into the man that I am today.
Thanks.
Donnie Collins, Tyler Donahue, you're next.
Jahan, you said earlier that you'll watch film, and find 50 yards that you could have had that you didn't. What do you have to do to get those 50 yards more consistently? And how much of those yards that you find on film drive you during the week?
Yeah. I think about those plays nonstop more than the plays that I made. Just because I know that's like that. I think about it this way, like that's food left on the table, or that's money left on the table. That's another opportunity to kind of provide for my family. That's just something that pushes me every day. And the way you get those things fixed is on the practice field. Getting those extra reps with Sean after practice, watching a little more tape during the week, seeing how maybe I could have kept my head down for a little longer, kept my drive phase. Just little things like that that I know is going to help me the following week to make those plays.
Tyler Donahue, Joe Smeltzer, you're next.
Jahan, if I could ask about one of your younger teammates who got his first career college catch on Saturday, Malik Mega. We know he was injured during preseason camp, worked his way back. Can you say what you've seen from him leading up to that moment and where you think maybe he could take it in the next few weeks of his second season?
Yeah, Malik's a really, really unique football player. He literally brings life to our receiver room, to our team. When he was out for a while, and going through injuries is really tough, especially when you're young, just because like you don't have that experience of, oh, I played already. Like I know what it's like. He didn't have that experience. He was young. He got hurt. And it's tough going through injuries. Sometimes you kind of feel like you're by yourself, and you kind of get down on yourself. He was never like that. He was at practice every single day. You locked in as a starter, preparing as a starter, literally looking at making sure he takes his note. He has the most meticulous notes in our room, taking notes on everything. So he prepared himself for this moment as he was hurt, and I'm just happy to see him excelling on the football field, which I knew he would, just because he's such a unique talent.
Joe Smeltzer, Craig Meyer, you're next.
So, Jahan, talking about Michigan, this is a game that college football fans and certainly Big Ten fans look forward to every year. With last year being what it was, and obviously you remember the whiteout game from 2 years ago, how exciting is it for you as a player just being able to play this magnitude of game in front of 107,000 plus fans, which is the way it should be?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Any opportunity we get to play at home in front of our fan base, in front of our crowd, it's an exciting moment. It's something I always look forward to. But yeah, we have a very tough opponent, which makes it even more fun. Knowing that Michigan is a very good football team this year, coming into our house, it's going to be a really exciting test for us. Going to test our football team. I'm just happy we got back on the win streak last week, and hopefully we go 1-0 this week again.
Craig Meyer, Audrey Snyder, you're next.
Yeah, Jahan, what do you feel like, when you look at yourself as a wideout, when you evaluate yourself, what do you feel like, what set of skills, what traits, what do you feel like defines you?
Yeah. As I've grown, I've become more explosive. Definitely more explosive as a wideout. A good route runner. I pride myself in my route running, like I've always said. And my hands, I feel like my hands kind of separate me apart from most wideouts. I cherish every moment. I mean, every opportunity that I get, the ball comes my way. I feel like I gotta have it. That's just the type of receiver that I am. I'm more of a smaller guy, so gotta pay attention to the more of the little details in my route running, my catching, just things like that. I feel like I've grown tremendously as a receiver over the years, and just trying to grow more and more each day.
Audrey Snyder.
Sorry, you muted me. Jahan, when you had you mentioned being with Chris in Texas, who were you training with at that point? Because I know a bunch of you guys did training trips this year.
Yeah. I have a trainer out there in Dallas, Texas. Name's David Robinson. I was training with guys like Chris Godwin, Tavon Austin, just learning from those guys this past off season, learning the little things about being a wide receiver. They were extremely helpful. I was down there for about a week. I trained more with Tavon Austin as I was down there. I only got to train with Chris Godwin, I think, a couple days. But just learning the little things that they do in the league that gets them open, the little ways they can excel in their route running, just teaching me those little things. It was big for me, just because I kind of never had that experience before, training with guys that are playing at the highest level and making plays at the highest level. So it was really fun being with those guys and just learning from those guys.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Mark Bogenrich next. You there, Mark? We can't hear you.
Okay, excuse me now.
There we
Good?
go. Yep, you're good.
Sorry, John. You mentioned your hands. What do you do to protect them? What do you do to keep your hands in shape, I guess?
A lot of grip strength. I don't know. This was my hands has kind of been something that I've always catching the ball has been something I've always been good at. Literally from a little kid. I guess having the ball in my hands at a young age kind of paid off now. Just feeling for the ball. I bring that football with me on trips. Just to hold it in my hands. Just feel out the ball. Like I don't know. I always have a ball in my hands, so I feel like my hands has always been kind of an asset that I can use to my advantage. I don't know. I don't do much to. I catch the ball a lot. I don't do much to kind of train my hands. It's kind of just always been a thing that I've been pretty good at.
Tyler Donahue.
Jahan, you got 3 more games here. Do you guys feel like getting that win at Maryland, you can kind of sort of reset things and make the most out of November and put that October behind you?
Yeah, for sure. This week we have a very tough opponent, and what better way than to go 1-0 against a very good football team. Like I said, we got the win last week. Feeling good, got back on the win streak. Just gonna prepare this week and take it game by game. That's all we can do. That's all I can do. I'm just cherishing every moment that I have here at Penn State. Literally taking it day by day, game by game, practice by practice. Just enjoying every single moment. That's pretty much all we can do at this point. As long as you do that, focus on the now. Don't look forward to the future too much, and focus on going 1-0. I feel like we'll be in a good place.
We'll go to Mark Wogenrich, and then Audrey Sneddle. You'll have our last question. Mark? All right, we'll jump over to Audrey.
I don't know what Mark is trying to ask, but Jahan, you mentioned earlier the sport that you weren't feeling that Dad didn't let you quit. What sport was that?
Yeah, that was basketball. One year, I think I was in like middle school, maybe. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't trying to play. Was trying to just be a kid. And my dad did a great job of just instilling in me that like once you start something, you can never quit. Like quitting was never an option, never something that we ever talked about in our family. And that's just how I was raised. So literally, I have that instilled in me now. Gonna pass that along to my family, my kids one day. Just all the life lessons that my dad has taught me, still sticking with me today and made me who I am.
Thanks, Jahan.
Thanks, Jahan. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you, guys.